Okay, boomer. I have my clean and unfolded emotional support laundry here because I was going to film the, oh wait, hi! I'm fine. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak, and I'm probably out of focus. Okay. Get your shit together, woman. Jesus. What I was going to say is I brought my emotional support laundry, and by brought I mean I transferred it from my dryer to my bed, where it needs to be folded, because I planned on shooting the last installment of this part of the Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson series today, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna need my emotional support laundry. And then it turns out I'm just not gonna film that today, but I am gonna film this. And for this, emotional support laundry is also probably needed. That was a mouthful. Today we're talking about James Charles, and nothing brings me more joy than old marble mouth himself, Jimmy Chuck, and the incomparable contributions to society that he has brought to the forefront. So this is a video, I've been meaning to make this video for a few days, but I got kind of caught up in Patreon stuff and continuing the Shane Dawson series. So this has been information that's been out for a few days. I haven't watched anybody else's videos on it. I know that a few people have made videos on it. I'm very, very caffeinated today. My arm itches. But anyhow, I've seen a couple creators talk about this situation, and I wanted to talk about it today too. So if you're into that, I guarantee you, Jimmy Chuck does not walk away from this session without feeling the wrath of my bitter old womanhood. I could have probably sat down and written out a video for this, but you know, why bother when you could just go off the cuff? So make sure you're subscribed for more really well thought out content. I also have a Patreon where we watch a lot of nostalgia content. Right now we're watching TMOG, and I love the 90s, and I am actually getting prepared to film my big old Christmas spectacular for Patreon, which like sounds like a show, isn't a show. Tits won't be out or anything, but I'm watching something very, very special for my patrons, and they don't even know what it is yet. They don't even know. So get into it, or don't, I don't care. Just make sure you subscribe and like the video, or dislike the video. Engagement is cool. Alright, let's get into this before I chase you all away. Who lets me make content anyway? Okay, so basically, James Charles, in the sense of the quickest part of the lore, and we're getting to part of the lore in the Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star series because we are at the finale, which also includes Dramageddon and sort of the bi-sister scandal and all of that. If you are not well versed in that, I don't know what you're doing here, but basically, James Charles has been involved in a number of scandals, and I think one of the most prominent ones is certainly his interactions with young, very young, too young boys. There have been occasions where James has been busted messaging minors, and by messaging I mean like sexting, and by sexting I mean like sexting. These are things that he admitted to in an apology video that has since been deleted, and he has sort of found a second life over on TikTok where no one either knows, and if they know, they don't care. So that's super fun. We also had a lot of like botched journalism with people like Duff Noodles at the time, who again is running for Congress. I mean, I haven't followed up, but like last I saw, he was running for Congress. So the grift is still strong with that one. But Duff Noodles sort of jumped the gun on a couple of these accusations without really vetting them. And there were a lot of young men who were like just kind of f***ing around and sort of served to discredit the boys who had actually been, we'll call it, approached by James Charles. And conveniently, he's just having the time of his life. I was gonna make a video, I'm making a different video, but I was gonna make a larger video about just ranting about content creators in general, or like influencers specifically, like people you would categorize as influencers, and how out of touch they are and how exhausting it is, because James did like an angel tree video, which I was like, I actually, in my group chat with my friends, commended him for, because that's how I think rich people should be using their money. You know, he didn't even just like stick to the budget. He, you know, the person wanted Legos, so he bought like a fuck ton of Legos. And I guess in one of the videos he picked someone who specifically wanted makeup at the suggestion of his audience, and then he sent them a bunch of his makeup. And then there was a creator who was criticizing him because apparently, I didn't see the original video, but this creator says that he was basically talking about how there's a Black Friday sale on his makeup while he was making this angel tree video. I have not gone in to confirm or deny, like, whether or not that's the case. But, like, if it is, ew, how gross and out of touch. Like, I have no problem with James, like, giving someone who clearly very much likes makeup his makeup. Because I think if he hadn't, the response would have been criticism for not giving them his makeup. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of like a you damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. I feel like that's something that could have been like, I'm just gonna sneak that in there. If you want it, you can have it, you know, kind of thing. And then he came back and really defensive against this creator. Like, this family is having a Christmas that they weren't gonna have anyway. And, like, now they're gonna have a great Christmas because their parents couldn't provide it, but I provided it. It was just like, the way that he responded was so like,
I've seen so much discourse over the last couple of days about influencers participating in angel tree videos and whether or not this is just a trend or who's really doing it for the right reasons. Who fucking cares? Who cares about the content? It's about the kids. These are literal children that would normally be coming downstairs on Christmas morning to nothing underneath their trees because their families can't afford it, all of a sudden having hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of gifts, toys, accessories, clothing, and most importantly, necessities for them and their family because this angel tree program and other people deciding to adopt them basically for the holiday season. Who cares if it's a trend? The only reason I found out about angel trees was because of the fact that it's a trend. I've never heard of angel trees before. I follow this beautiful creator named Serena Neal who was doing angel tree videos. And as soon as I saw them on my For You page, I instantly got hooked and started watching them because they're so fun. It's cool imagining these kids on Christmas morning getting these beautiful, amazing gifts that their family couldn't afford to get them otherwise. And now they're gonna have it. Like, that's what Christmas is all about. It's magical. And if somebody can bring that magic to life for them, how can you be mad at that? My first angel tree video had nothing to do with makeup at all. And I had so much fun while doing it, but my followers left me a lot of really great suggestions on how I could do it better if I was to go back for next time. One of the things they told me was I should find somebody that wants to do makeup or wants to be a makeup artist and give them makeup. So that's exactly what I did because my audience requested it. You don't have to like me. Clearly, you don't. But that doesn't change the fact that other people do. And chances are, if an 11-year-old girl, Josephine, wants to be a makeup artist one day, she might be a fan. She might not be as well. Who knows? Who cares? She wants to be a makeup artist one day. Why not include my makeup brand? Because I make products that she might enjoy. That's all it was. And the fact that you're picking this apart as if this was some secretive sponsored ad for my brand is crazy. Fucking crazy, dude. It's about the kids. It's about giving back. Who cares if people are making content out of it? It's fun, it's cute, it's wholesome, and the only thing that matters is these kids having a beautiful, happy, healthy holiday season that they deserve to have. I wish you the same for you and your family's holiday season.
This feels way more out of touch. Like, can you just say, like, yeah, I see what you mean, but I figured why not? If they want to use it, they can use it. If they don't want to use it, they don't have to use it. Like, I don't know. So I was gonna make a whole video about that situation and sort of like the out of touch influencer, but I have a whole other video that I'm gonna film later that I think is gonna kind of cover those bases pretty nicely. Anyhow, these are the rambly videos. You can't let me just talk too much on my own. This is why I would never be good. I did improv for a long time. I would never be good at stand-up because I would just ramble and people would throw things and I don't have depth perception. Anyway, this creator, Ethan Rhett, I believe his name is, he came out a few months ago. He had just started talking about this again, that James Charles had made some advances on him when he was 14. And I'm pretty sure he got, like, run off the internet for it. He is a TikTok creator, and I think that might be why. I think if he had made this video for YouTube, I think he probably would have seen a lot more support. But like I said, James Charles is having a second life over on TikTok. He's having a second career life over on TikTok. And no one holds him accountable and no one calls him out. And at least that I see on my FYP situation, he got a lot of backlash, I think, for saying these things. And apparently he's come with receipts now, and he wants to talk about it now. And I am all ears. I have not watched these. I just downloaded them when I saw them. And that is it. I have not yet watched them. So We will be watching them together once I look at what this text is. My parcel's been delivered. Tits. Thanks, TikTok shop. Let's get into this. Let's see what he's got to say. We're gonna watch all of this. There's 3 parts, so we'll see. We'll see.
Hey guys, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you out once again. So when I was 14 years old, TikTok kind of became like my escape. And then suddenly, you know, I kind of blew up on TikTok. It was kind of like a kid's dream. People started paying attention to me. People were supporting me. It was everything I could ask for. You know, I felt happy again.
Can I be honest? I don't know anything about Ethan other than the accusations that he's made against James. Which personally, I'm always inclined, obviously, to believe victims, but certainly victims of James Charles. I would rather be wrong than be like, you seem like another one that's jumping on the bandwagon, especially because he's been pretty consistent about this. And also, like, I'm a terrible judge of character, but this kid, he just seems like such a sweet person with good vibes. I want to give him a hug already.
After leaning towards that for my happiness, which doesn't sound good, but if you get what I mean, you get what I mean. So anyways, and then something crazy happened. James Charles commented and liked one of my videos. At that age and at that moment, you know, it was crazy. It was pretty freaking cool. It's like I accomplished something, you know, like, oh wow, a big creator is seeing me. Like, I'm being put out to this person's page.
I want to make a note of this, actually, that he's saying this was how he felt in his perspective, because I think when we talk a lot about the power dynamic in these kind of situations, I feel like power dynamic is one of those things that got like lost in the sauce, like gaslighting, like, you know, there's all these like terms that we all sort of like adopt, and then we completely like lose track of what it actually means. And I think the thing we need to understand with James Charles contacting anybody from his DMs is that this is that power dynamic. This is that in motion, is that James Charles is a creator with millions of followers, so he has automatically up on some pedestal in terms of like how people see him, people who enjoy what he does. I see him as a pest, a sex pest, and that's one of the nicer things I could say about him. But that's inherently the power dynamic right there. I just want to point that out.
I was not a fan of James Charles, but I knew who he was. I didn't really watch his videos or anything like that, but yeah, you're gonna know who that is. It's one of the biggest creators at the time. I was super shocked. I was super happy, and honestly, I could probably say I was proud, you know. Not long after he messaged me, hey, I responded almost immediately. Who wouldn't respond?
I would respond. I have a lot of things to say to James Charles.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
It was exciting, but that excitement did not last long at all. The fun didn't last long at all. It honestly came crashing down just as quick as it all happened. And I've already talked about this before. Hold on, I'm sorry. Anyways, months ago, I tried to talk about the situation once again, but it all came crashing down. I was getting threats, not just towards me, but to my family as well. People were messaging my family. People were calling me closeted. People were just doing some pretty mean things. And on top of that, my videos got taken down once again.
Now, I don't trust TikTok's censorship system, okay? I have made some doofy ass comments that have been taken down for community guidelines violations when they violated nothing. But how convenient. How convenient for James Charles. Yeah, this whole sense of stanhood, we need to lose it as a society. Because at no point should this person be receiving, I don't even want to call it hate, harassment. At no point should he be receiving harassment for speaking up about something traumatic, clearly traumatic, that has happened to him. But I'm going to let him finish.
So I said, you know what, I'm done and I'm over it. No one believed me and everyone thought I was just making something up, which is my fault because I never showed as much proof as I do have.
But also, like, what would be the gain? What does he gain from that? Harassment. It's the one thing I think people who accuse victims who speak out about anything of, that they don't, it's the one thing they don't really think about is like, what are you actually gaining? What is clout in that transaction? It's nothing. It's a moment of notoriety where you are then run off by people harassing you. Who would do, why would you even bother? Nobody wants that. Like, what would he have to gain by that?
And that's what I'm going to do now. Conversations that I've had with my lawyers via email and conversations I've had with, the detective in that state at the time, I kept to myself because, that's not just my privacy. Those people have families as well, and I didn't want to get them involved. But why should I protect people who never protected me?
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. And good for Ethan for contacting lawyers. I have a really big point I want to make, but I want to hear what, like, the rest of the things that he has to say.
So I'm going to be speaking about it, and I'm going to be going deeper into it, deeper than I've ever been, with proof of me having conversations with my lawyers and emails and just everything else. I'm not doing this for the drama. I'm not doing this for the attention, but I'm doing this because the threats and the silence have gone on way too far, and my story deserves to be told in the full truth without hiding anything or backing down from anything anymore.
Good for you. Hell yes. I love to see it. I love to see it. Love to see it. This is exactly, I mean, like, I don't know how old he is now. I mean, maybe we'll be talking about that at some point. Clearly, maybe early 20s. I don't remember. I want to say he was 19 when he started talking about it last time. I don't know. My brain is a sieve. I don't know what the statute of limitations is on that. But fuck, hell yeah. Keep talking about it. Because the thing is like, people like James Charles they have so much fucking money, and they will jump into a lawsuit just because they can. They will countersue you. I'm not saying that's what he's doing because I have no idea. Again, I haven't even watched the rest of these videos. But, like, he seems like the type that would absolutely, like, countersue you and, like, throw his entire pussy into fucking defeating you in a legal battle. This kid is really smart to have gotten some legal counsel.
What I'm going to do now is pull up the clip of me kind of first talking about it and getting y'all to understand the full story. And then after that clip is over, I'm going to be coming back and showing y'all the receipts of the lawyers I have and the proof of me being in contact with the Frisco Police Department and just everything else. So please just take time out of your day to watch this video. Even if you hate me and you don't believe me, please just try to understand where I'm coming from, and please let me show you the proof that I have. Hello everyone, my name is Ethan Rhett, and if you don't know me, maybe this will help you. Before I get into the story, I want to say I am not meaning to hurt anyone's career or damage anyone's reputation. I just keep seeing things pop up on my page, and it's sickening, and it triggers me in a way, But back when I was 14, I wanted to do social media my whole life. It's something I really loved and enjoyed doing.
Can I just say, total side note, the amount of people who are like, I want to do social media, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a TikToker, I want to be an influencer. Like, oh God, honey, we need to open the schools, because holy shit, I love my job, don't get me wrong. I love this job. I absolutely love this job. But I love this job because I like doing it. I don't love this job because I get free shit, or I make millions of dollars, or like I go on brand trips or anything like that. I love this job because I actually love it. And like all these younger kids seeing other kids and teenagers and stuff becoming famous and having a ton of money and doing cool shit, like that's why they want to do this. So like social media to like Gen Z and older Gen Alpha is like what being a movie star was for us. Aim higher.
I started blowing up. I maybe created my account 7 months prior before I turned 14 years old. I ended up blowing up, maybe around 700,000 followers on TikTok. Everything was doing good. I loved it. And it was just amazing. James Charles commented under my post and liked the video, and it was exciting. That's the biggest creator I've ever been in contact with or ever commented or liked my post, Anyways, he ends up following me and he messages me, hey, I obviously respond. I'm excited, but that's where everything went downhill. It got really, really weird. Anyways, we start going back and forth on TikTok. He initiates after a few days. Hey, add me on Snap. I'm like, okay, I was trying to hide the fact that I was excited. It was really cool. I was hoping that this was gonna jumpstart my career even more into being an influencer, being someone, making others happy, and just that was my intentions the whole entire time. Anyways, me and James start going back and forth on Snap, and he eventually asked me, what do I plan on doing long term? So obviously my social media was picking up and et cetera, et cetera. But at the time, I really didn't know. I knew I wanted to be something and be someone and help others and just being an amazing person and spread awareness on social media, all that stuff. And I couldn't really give him an answer because I didn't know. It was, yeah, I wanted to, but is it something I really could do,
Also, like, he's 14. He shouldn't know what he's going to do the rest of his life. He shouldn't have a 5-year plan. Like, he's a kid. I understand he's a kid with social media following, but, like, that's still a child. I know James Charles doesn't care, but...
Eventually ended up telling him I wanted to get into modeling or acting or maybe even both. And, he was very supportive about that, He said, oh my God, you'd be such a good model, You would do so well modeling and just stuff like that. And obviously I didn't see anything of it. I was young. I was happy he was saying I could do that, especially coming from a really big and noticeable influencer, I thought it was great. Brother kind of didn't tell me in a way, but my brother he kind of let me do my own thing, but he kind of noticed, he didn't, how do I word this? My brother didn't think about it as the way I thought about it. My brother kind of noticed something and I could tell, but he was kind of just letting me do my own thing.
Oh, your brother noticed that James was being sort of inappropriate and he didn't intervene. I'm not blaming the brother. This lies solely on James Charles. Like, surely there are people in this kid's life who should have been protecting him a little more, but the responsibility lies with James Charles.
Now that we got that out of the way, I'm just going to jump into a more detailed version of it. I know y'all been waiting. I'm sorry. So James started getting extremely comfortable with me. And I just, I was so excited. I didn't really realize it at the time. We were FaceTiming, which I will pull it up right here in this next clip.
I don't think so. At least.
Anyway, so that part was me on the phone with James.
And I'm sorry, but, like, if you look at this, he looks like a child. Like, he looks like a child. He looks like a little boy.
That a friend of mine recorded just because he thought it was pretty cool as well. And I thought it was something cool to have. And I didn't think about it as any way to hurt him. And it stresses me out that my life was ruined because everyone thought that. It's irritating talking about. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyways, James started becoming super aggressive with me. He would ask me to send him photos of my happy trail, which I didn't even have at the time. And because I was 14, I didn't have a happy trail, and I had armpit hair, but he didn't ask for that. And I kind of avoided the question because it made me super, super uncomfortable.
See, this is the thing, right? And we don't talk enough about boys who are victims of sexual harassment or sexual assault. It is more common than you think, and it is less talked about than you think. Little girls don't typically know what to do either when they feel uncomfortable like that. We generally have a better idea because by the time we're 14, we've already experienced some kind of sexual harassment, right? So we know how to identify those uncomfortable feelings maybe a little bit better sometimes. Obviously, not a blanket statement, right? Every situation is different. It's heartbreaking knowing that this little boy, a child, a 14-year-old child, a freshman in high school, grade 9, was at home being asked to send photos of his happy trail that he didn't even have yet because he wasn't even done with puberty. Oh, God. Ooh. The mom in me and the professional James Charles hater in me, real angry. I'm real angry. Anyway, and I even knew this already. I already knew that this was a thing. I just haven't revisited this portion of it. since he talked about it the first time. Which, by the way, I think we covered in, like, one of the episodes of The Dump, maybe? Which used to be my version of, like, The Soup, but worse. To my point earlier, what I was saying, young boys versus young girls, and obviously I'm just speaking in the binary here because I know there's probably a lot of overlap and a lot of gray areas as well in terms of, like, gender dynamics or not, or lack thereof. But in terms of, like, boys experiencing harassment and girls, and I'm talking boys and girls, like children. Girls are basically told that's the expectation for them. That men are just going to stare at you. Yeah, men are going to make advances at you. It doesn't matter how old you are. Boys are told to push that down. Ignore it. Move on. Make a joke of it. You know what I mean? So, like, I think it's really good that he had a sense of noticing that he was uncomfortable with it. Instead of, I mean, clearly he did some repression here, but, like, I feel for this kid. That's so fucked up.
I'm sorry, I lied, actually. I told him I shaved my happy trail because I was afraid to tell him that I didn't have a happy trail or have any hair on my body other than my armpit hair.
Right. And as we all know, James Charles has clearly some sort of hair fetish, and it's, I don't know, I'm not a gay man. I mean, I'm pretty close to being a gay man, but, like, I don't get it, and it makes me feel gross. Not that hair is gross, it's just that it's James Charles is gross. And also, again, let's bring back the concept of the power dynamic, because the power dynamic is why he's lying to him, telling him that he shaved instead of, I don't grow that yet.
So I'm sorry, I lied about that. Anyways, you know, he kind of started being aggressive extremely after that. He told me, well, don't shave your happy trail again, because I like that. And he was very intense about how he said it. I know it doesn't sound bad, but it was only if you could be in my shoes when that happened.
It does sound bad, and I hate for him that he's minimizing this, because it does sound bad, because that is harassment. He was a child. Okay. We need to get, this is like the old information. I need to get through the old information so we can get to the new information, because I'm about to blow a gasket.
It made me super, super uncomfortable. Anyways, I go to bed that night and I wake up to his sent to me, and it made me very, very uncomfortable. He would send me a photo of his behind in the mirror, and he also sent me a video of him in the shower, which those videos are somewhere on the internet. I'm sure you can find it. If I looked, I could probably find them in a Google Drive that we actually had for my lawyer. Anyways, he started realizing that I wasn't into that. He started kind of making threats towards me, saying he was going to diminish my career. He could easily ruin my career, just all types of nonsense, and it was bad. Okay, it was really, really, really bad. It started getting super, super intense. He started saying he was going to ruin my career, go out and tell people I was gay and I was closeted, which isn't an issue. That's not an issue at all, but it was still the fact that I was a 14-year-old boy, and it scared me. It freaked me out.
So, I'm sorry, what I heard was James Charles is a piece of shit and a really bad person. Got it.
Anyway, so that's when I made that video. There's a lot more that happened in the story, but this video is about 5 minutes long, so I will be making a part 2. Hey guys, I'm back to show all the receipts that I have of me talking to my lawyers via email. There was obviously calls, but I never recorded those, so I can't show you those. I did blur out the names and everything else for privacy reasons. This has already backfired on me more than enough. I don't need it to backfire on me again. But yeah, here we go. I'm also going to be explaining why I never proceeded with this. There's a lot of reasons to it. I'm sure you can guess, but I'm going to be explaining everything here in this video. After talking to him on the phone, this was one of the first contracts they sent. I guess it's a social media warning and just a contract overall. It had to be me and my legal guardian signing it because at the time I was underage. She mentioned reaching out to the Frisco Police Department, which was the city I was in when it, first occurred and first happened. So they wanted to get law enforcement involved, which is expected. I did too, but things just didn't work that way. It all got kind of messy, which I will explain. But here is the first email that was sent.
Okay. This is Andrew and Ethan. Please see our contract and social media warning we give to all client's something, 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 something. We will need both of your signatures on. We can send via DocuSign if that's more convenient, but I'm about to jump on another Zoom meeting. I want to get these to you sooner rather than later. If you can print, sign, scan, and email back to us, that's great. If you'd prefer signing by DocuSign, we can get that out to you later today for electronic signature. Once y'all both sign, then Blank and I will sign, and we will coordinate getting Ethan connected with a detective at Frisco PD. Please let us know if you have any questions about the contract and social media warning. I've also copied my assistant on this email. Please copy all communications. Is this like an NDA? What the fuck is this?
Now then, after that, they wanted me to send all the evidence into a Google Drive, which I did. Here's that right here. I know this is not really anything, but I just want to show y'all, and I want the people that don't believe me to see that I was doing everything that I needed to do to try to get this taken care of and put an end to it, or maybe stop him from doing it to other people. But here you go.
I want to know what is in the social media contract, like, or the social media warning. What is the warning? Is it an NDA? Like, I need to know more. I need to know more about this.
Now this right here, don't mind the first part. It's kind of just a repeat of all the other emails that I've showed already. But the second part I really wanted to show y'all because the lawyer is saying they reached out to the Frisco PD, and the detective ended up calling her back, but she was, I guess, kind of busy. So they were kind of playing phone tag, but it was a good thing. Wanted me to be aware that they are trying, and they did reach out to the police department and everything else, which made me really happy. I remember actually, but here you go.
I did reach out to my contact at Frisco PD last week. The detective called me back, but then I was tied up with another client. I sent him a message again today, and he's supposed to call me. I've not given him any names or details, just wanted to get some input for him on their next steps, and then arrange a call with Ethan and parents and us. I will update once I have a conversation with him, but he was responsive. So this is, I assume, the legal team then.
At the moment, those are the only 3 emails I have. I'm trying to recover the rest of them, but I'm going to explain what all happened with that situation because I've never explained it before and people never believed me that I ever even contacted a lawyer or got in touch with law enforcement or anything like that. Please don't judge me if I get emotional and get a raspy voice or you can't understand me. I'm going to try to get through this strong, but it gets sensitive. To me, it's a sensitive topic, but let's get into things. So at the time when I was in touch with these lawyers and the detective, I was going through some traumatizing things. I was getting my address sent to me. I was getting threats. My family was getting threats. We were getting sent pictures of our house. It was a really awful thing. I started going into a depressive episode where I was too scared to talk to the lawyers. I was too scared to talk to the detective, and people kept pushing me to do it. Everyone kept pushing me and kept telling me I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to talk to him, I need to do that. And it was just, it became way too much for me.
And that's the thing that I think a lot of people who have like very controversial careers and very passionate fan bases, I think that's what they count on, if I'm being honest. I think a lot of big content creators who have done really shitty things and get called out for it, I think they count on that. I think they count on the people who speak up and then are subsequently harassed into silence. They expect that to end it. And it's such a disgusting, again, power imbalance, right? Like that's literally saying like, well, I have more followers than you, I have more money than you, and I've got a legal team. So whatever you're accusing me of doesn't matter because I will either have my fan base harass you into silence or I'll sue you into oblivion. And it makes it so hard for anyone to speak up about things that they've experienced when they involve creators like that.
At that point in time, it became a lot. I ended up just shutting down. I ended up not posting. I ended up not doing anything. I stopped talking to the lawyers. I just ghosted them. I ghosted the detective. I ghosted almost every single person that was trying to help me get the justice and get the help I need. I left everyone in the dust. And that is something I regret deep down inside because this thing now, till this day, traumatizes me. Anytime I see a photo of him, I see a picture of him, something in my body just shuts down. Anyways, a few days go by. Like I said, I haven't talked to lawyer, detective, nobody. Then they reach out and they're like, hey, maybe we can, get some money out of this. And it was like, what? And there was like kind of like, oh, he's not going to want to take this to court. He's not going to want to do that. So maybe he can give you some money out of this situation.
Ain't that just like a lawyer? But also, like, why wouldn't you want to take that to court if you're innocent? And I think this is the larger point that I've been wanting to make, and I think now is the time. Why, as James Charles, claiming innocence, or at least claiming nothing, right? Why wouldn't you want to vehemently prove that these things are not true, unless they are? Because, like, we've obviously been here with James Charles before. This is not new. He has straight up apologized for doing exactly this. But you bet your fucking ass if someone was accusing me of messaging underage people with sexual intent, absolutely I would take their fucking asses to court. Absolutely I would be clearing my name. If I was being accused of that and I was innocent of those crimes, I would absolutely fucking be screaming it from the rooftops. It's the same thing with Colleen Ballinger. Like, how the fuck are you being accused of child grooming and then coming on the internet singing a ukulele song and crying about being called the worst things you can think of and not taking people to court if it's not true? Or not speaking the truth if it's not true? Like, they're guilty when they say nothing because, like, holy fuck, that should be something that is defamatory if it's not true, right? But if it is true, yeah, you probably don't want to take that shit to court.
And that just right there was just, that at that point was literally my breaking point, because it was nothing about the money, and it was a shame that they even said that. Yeah, after that, I completely cut all ties with them. Wanted nothing to do with that, because it was never about that at all. But I still had all this hate coming at me full throttle, and I was just in shambles, and I was broken. I was being called closeted. I was being made fun of for being gay or bisexual, and that shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter anyone's sexuality.
Yeah, by the way, James Charles is also gay. Like, what are we getting at here? Why are there a bunch of, like, 7th graders hurling insults at people who are coming forward about sexual harassment?
And once I'm ready to come out with what I am, then I should be able to. I shouldn't be made fun of that for just because of a grown man preying on me when I was a child. Everyone was texting my family. Random people were texting my family saying that I'm gay, I'm closeted, all this and all that. It became such a big thing.
And I think that's such a testament to the age range of James Charles' audience, which he somehow thinks is also his dating pool. Coca-Cola, hello.
And I was left broken and alone and had no support other than my close family. Hey guys, I'm back. I just want to say thank you so much for all the support. Also, it really does mean a lot to me. Here is me at 14 years old.
Yeah, look at him. A boy. That is a child. That is a child. That is unmistakably a child. I just accidentally found Elton John's TikTok, and I don't think I'll ever be the same. Like, I will never get over this. That is a child. That is someone's child. Unmistakably a child.
Here's me also on famous birthdays. And I've been on famous birthdays prior to him even reaching out. So at that time, yes, it did say I was 14 years old.
The face of a child. He's a child.
I'm about to show you next is a video of me opening his snap on Snapchat of him saying 4 years. And what he's implying on that 4 years is 4 more years until I'm 18 years old. My brother wanted to record it because he thought it was super weird of him to say.
There are very few times in this life where I am rendered speechless. And I am not surprised by this, not even a little. But the way in which James Charles moves in these DMs with kids, clearly knowing that they're kids, I don't understand how his marble mouth, mediocre makeup ass still has a fucking platform. I have no idea what he's got a platform for. And, you know, it's not often that I'm one to agree with Shane Dawson, but he does need a slice of humble pie the size of the Empire State Building. And he can fucking choke.
I have a lot more photos and videos I want to share with y'all, and for some reason when I download them off the Google Drive, it will say downloaded, but it's not popping up in my camera roll. So I'm currently trying to figure that out at the moment. The last video I'm going to show you is a video of him telling me he doesn't like putting makeup on hot guys. And the reason why he told me that was because I saw he was doing his makeup and I said, hey, maybe you can put makeup on me for a YouTube video. It would be a cool collab, and I'm trying to grow my page because he made it seem like he was my friend and he wanted to help me and kind of give me tips and tricks.
I hate putting really hot guys into makeup.
No.
That's why you did your own, I guess. Imagine knowing the person you're talking to is 14 and saying something like that. I'm just gonna let this is the last one, and then I have some things to say.
Once again, guys, I still have a lot more I want to show y'all, and I just plan on probably making a YouTube video about it because I'm sick of all these short little clips. Once again, to all the people that have been supporting me, thank you, and I'm super sorry for not really explaining myself that much in this video. I'm just super sick of explaining myself to all the arrogant people who don't even really care about my explanation.
I can't fault him for that, especially on TikTok, and he should make a nice long-form YouTube video with everything in like linear order, and I hope that he does, especially because his one or two of these have been taken down from TikTok already. Surprise. What a surprise.
For bullying and harassment.
I am not a deplatform them kind of person. I am not like a burn them at the stake because they're canceled. Like, even Shane Dawson still has a platform. He shouldn't, but he does. And I'm not gonna riot about it, even though I don't think it should be that way. I don't think he is currently actively hurting people. He has a past full of hurting people. Either he's chosen to change that behavior or hide it better. I'm not saying that that erases the things that he's done. Of course not. I would never say that to you. But people like James Charles, who have actively hurt people, have actively tried to pursue children, why does he still have a platform? Why is he still allowed on any of these fucking platforms? Why are we not protecting children anywhere at all, ever? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I just know how to yell. And if there is one person on this platform that I despise the most, it is probably James Charles. It is probably James Charles, because he has proven himself to be disgusting, shameless, desperate, and not even that good at what he does. The Coca-Cola hello meme was only funny when they put Roger in. Anyway, I don't even think I have that much more to say. I think it speaks for itself. I hope Ethan is okay. I hope he will make a long form video when he feels ready to. I don't know, man. It's so fucked up and so disgusting. And, you know, I think rampant use of social media has allowed this shit to run amok. And I think James Charles needs to be deplatformed. I think he has proven himself to be a danger. I think using his social media as a dating app and a hookup sort of situation is proof enough that he does not need to be here, especially considering his audience is the type to bully and harass people who have anything negative to say about him, which leads me to believe they are all, you know, like 13, which would make sense. But one thing I do know about James is one of these days, if he's continuing to do stuff like this, he's gonna slip up and he's gonna do it to the wrong person. We're gonna have that kind of breaking news all over again at the expense of someone else's child. But hey, maybe Deaf Noodles will be in Congress by then. Anyway, this has been this, and now I'm gonna go do that. I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna go do it. All right. Subscribe.
And if somebody can bring that magic to life for them, how can you be mad at that?
Shut the hell up, bitch.